Just past midnight on the East Coast. Sports Dinner continues. I'm Scott Van Pelt. A big Game 2 victory for Golden State. We will have more highlights from that here from LeBron James, Steph Curry as well. Tim Legler standing by to talk adjustments that were made and what we might see in Game 3. A familiar story for the Warriors as Steph, yes, but more in the facilitator role in this one. A dozen assists for him. Here he sets up Draymond down the lane. Then Curry finds Dante DiVincenzo, who eyes that three and hits it. JaMychal Green. If you had your bingo chart that included a prop of JaMychal Green outscores Anthony Davis, congrats, you're rich. Curry's 8 first-half assists tie his playoff high and a half. Warriors are 8 of 10 on passes from Curry in the first half. And Clay, as Tim showed you earlier, Tim, who made his living shooting the basketball, pretty good eye to tell you what we're seeing with this. Watch how long it's in his hands. Well, actually, this is not the best example. There was one in the corner earlier, which you've already seen. Anyway, Clay hit 5 threes in the first half, built an 11-point lead. Here's where it gets away from the Lakers, and the avalanche comes. Clay hits the three. Then it's Curry, another dime, good look. JaMychal Green down low. As I said, a dozen assists. Clay again, little head fake, steps into it. 30 points, 8 of 11 from three. And Golden State rolling up 18. Steph, ball fake, hits the deck, hits the three. 20 points, a dozen assists. Golden State runs away with it. A 27-point Game 2 victory. A look at Clay and the shot chart. It's silly as he goes for 30 in the playoffs for the 18th time in his career. Also, as I mentioned, the 6th time in the playoffs he's had at least 8 threes. No one's done that more often, I should say, than Clay. Provides such energy. His head coach, Steve Kerr, happy to rely on that in Game 2.
Well, that's the best version of Clay, you know, when he's really going offensively, but he's taking great shots, and that's what I liked about tonight. I just thought we got really good shots, you know, 21 for 42 from three. Obviously a great percentage, but I think the percentage was a reflection of the clean looks we were getting, and the fact that the guys weren't forcing anything. They were just, the ball was moving. They were just moving it to the open guy, and Clay obviously can get really hot, really fast, and it's more likely to happen when we're moving the ball like we did tonight.
Steve, to clarify, could Looney have started? Was it okay to start? And also, could you take us a little bit more inside the decision?
So, yeah, so what happened was literally 2 hours before game time, Loon came down pretty ill. And so I talked to Rick Celebrini, and he said that Loon probably won't be able to play more than 20 minutes or so, and given his illness. And it's tough to play a guy 20 minutes when you start him, because then he ends up sitting forever, and there's kind of some awkward, lengthy periods on the bench, and it's hard to find a rhythm. So we decided to bring him off the bench, and that would help his rhythm a little bit more. We could limit his minutes, and we knew we were going to play JaMychal anyway, like we did in Game 1. So we just decided to start JaMychal and get the floor spacing that he offers, and J. Mike was great. You know, he knocked down some threes, and you know, he's aggressive and athletic, and obviously played a great game.
Hey, Steve.
Looney played 11 minutes in the game, and what did he have? 6 points. There you go. Yeah, way to go, Loon. Tim Legler is back, as promised. It's touchscreen time. And we've seen Steph Curry go crazy, right? And he has the big three-point shooting nights. A dozen assists in this one. How much of that was a reaction to the way the Lakers attacked him in Game 1, and how did it work?
Total adjustment on the part of the Warriors. They actually did it in the fourth quarter of the last game with some success. And tonight, they just gave it to him from the beginning of the game. He played more like a natural point guard. I'd say more possessions than maybe going back to like a second, third year in the league. That's how much he looked like a natural point tonight. And here's the difference that it makes. Show you some examples of him just getting the ball early. This one, he just gets it off the defensive glass. But this is why it's important, Scott, that he has the ball, because handle can disrupt any defensive game plan. And right here, Austin Reeves has him in a pretty good position. If you got Steph Curry pinned on the sideline, it's a great place to be. Problem is that handle comes into play. So he's going to go behind his back and get on this side of Austin Reeves because he's got that clever handle in the open floor. So right off the bat now he disrupts. Gets down here, he goes behind his back. Again. And so now what he ends up doing when he goes behind his back, he basically forces Anthony Davis to run into Austin Reeves. So now you're going to end up with 3 Lakers behind the basketball as he turns. And now he gets downhill. He's actually drawn 4 guys below the paint, and that's going to lead into a trail 3. This is all created by Curry. He doesn't get the assist on this, but that's all him having the ball early up the floor and his handle creating chaos. Here, once again, remember I said earlier about the commitment not being there tonight? Remember game 1? Vanderbilt was up denying all of this stuff, and he was forcing the basketball to come in somewhere else and let someone else handle the ball. Tonight, no. And the other thing he was doing, he was getting up in Steph, and he was turning him 3 or 4 times. Didn't see that tonight. Now they're backing off. He's coming up the floor, and now he's got whatever he wants right here. Again, going to get a ball screen, comes off, occupy 2. Great thing he does, as always, gives it up early.
That ball's already out.
It's out of his hand, and that's something they've always done in Golden State. It lets Draymond get downhill, and now you're going to engage a backline defender, and all that's going to lead to a corner 3 over here. Again, all created by Steph without getting the assist. His handle creates that, his passing ability, which we don't talk about enough as a point guard. And then this last one more time. Bring it up, no pressure in the backcourt. He's going to come up, and again, crosses over to create chaos off this brush screen. But watch this last part. I love this. If he throws the pass earlier, LeBron James is going to deflect it. But instead, he ends up bringing the basketball out here in this hand, wraps it around the only place he can to get it to Draymond. Draymond, who could then go attack the back line. You've got a 2-on-1 on the backside. You get a layup. None of these does Steph Curry get the assist. All of them attributed to Steph Curry because of his handle, his vision, his creativity. And look, it takes a willingness also for an elite scorer to accept that that's how it's going to be tonight, and that's how I'll beat you. And he decided to do that. I thought it was a great adjustment by the Warriors. We all saw it coming. Lakers didn't really adjust to it very well or handle it. That's now the chess match going forward. How do you deal with this version of Steph Curry?
And it's a short turnaround, Saturday night, Game 3 on ABC. Darvin Ham's going to look at that. He's going to see it. As the Lakers go back home, and they are more comfortable there, and we gave you the stat earlier about how well they've done in Game 3s of series where they've been tied 1-1. You'd expect to see them react and make adjustments. You want to see them do what?
Well, first, what I said earlier, Anthony Davis, more of a package for him. Other ways to affect
not just the action that they got on the ball
Correct.
tonight.
More action for him. Secondly, you're going to now have to deal with what are you going to do with Steph on these ball screens? You're going to try to blitz him and get it out of his hand a little bit, kind of like they did in the last possession of the game, where they just jumped him at half court, made somebody else go make a play and beat you. And then the final component is this. The push up the floor the entire game, and we didn't show anything there from the first half, was significant on the part of the Warriors, and I think it wore the Lakers out. So if you're Darvin Ham, you're going to be watching film. Look at the number of plays when there was 3 or 4 Warriors sprinting and only 2 Lakers. Even what looked like an innocuous play, maybe even after a score, they were getting beat down the floor and something good was happening really early in the shot clock. That's just effort. And I didn't see as much of that out of the Lakers tonight. And that's where you just challenge your team in a film session, because it does not lie. And guys can be embarrassed sometimes when they find themselves jogging when they swore they were sprinting.
These are where the games in the series really become interesting. It's true chess. You do this, we react. You do that, we react. We'll see what Game 3 has in store. Hopefully we'll have time here before 1 o'clock Eastern to have more conversation with Tim as we look ahead to Friday's games, which include Kevin Durant going back home in a series where they really need to get on the board. You see the odds to win the series, and Golden State entered -155, slipped to a slight dog after the Game 1 loss. Now a small favorite as the series heads to Los Angeles for Game 3. How about